Show time. Hello, Internet. Mr. BPG here. And long ago, I wrote a movie script regarding this concept. This is an original work of art by my Manny out of Funky Rooster Tattoo in Elgin. And the reason I appreciate this art is because he, carefully satirizes the proper dressed pig of the animal farm, of the animal kingdom, and how those who understand how to use the black magic of money are able to manipulate the world and kind of get away with whatever they want. They use the black magic, the dollar sign, the all seeing eye, all the different tricks they have to keep us in the position we're in. And a long time ago, I started working on a movie script called When Debts Collect. If you don't know me, one of the things I like to do is come up with interesting titles and other things, get them out there. And yeah, and I like to promote them. And I wrote When Debts Collect as a concept script. And for some reason, I'm not showing up on screen. I don't even know if I'm still sending audio. But it is essentially supposed to be a work of fiction based on my real life experiences in and around independent media creation and the type of circles of people that work on the internet, whether they be one type or the other, and essentially the means they'll go to hurt people and mess with people over perceived slights, over things like money, over just whatever they want. On the internet, they like to take advantage of people and hurt people and then share about it on the internet. They'll use coded language. They'll work with each other because they feel they're doing justice. And geez, I don't even know what I'm supposed to say because I'm in a situation where I am personally going through what this story of When Debts Collect talked about. I'm personally going through the exact same thing we talked about in my script, which was a kibosh of evildoers who decide to select a single person and track them down. There are metaphors in here about society being puppeted by a surveillance state, based on our new obsession with this technology that we have, this thing that has been manipulating us every day, these phones, these things that affect our minds and are able to get in our heads and mess with them. I wanted to take down the lotto, as the lotto is a worthless tax on the poor. And I would like to find a way to make the lotto absolutely terrifying. Lots of metaphors regarding the surveillance state, the patriarchy, their control over the masses, and then a lot of philosophy. I had been working on gathering what I called my table of contents. My table of contents is a collection of short stories or short movies or short films or short whatevers that I would have made were I given the opportunity to continue to make films and not have an assassination attempt put out on me. People don't like to listen to me when I get in my paranoid state, when I get in my nervous state. But I think it's unfortunate because people like me are the ones who are actually out there in the world doing things. We're the ones that are actually going out there and doing shit and not just quietly sitting behind our computers and watching what's on the other side of the screen. We're the ones that are actually out there trailblazing, learning new ways to make, taking advantage of this new technology in ways that nobody else has, and then continuing to use it to promote codes, promote goodness, to try to promote good messages. And while we all have various content and things that we enjoy, I personally have been kept in the dark about my loved ones for a while. And the only thing that makes sense is if one of these chapters was read by one of these people and they're just looking to hurt people in my life. The Linked Eagle introduction was the first story because I love the idea of telling stories through parables. So I've always had the story of sort of the bears in the forest. I always say there are four powerful animals in the American forest. There are the bears. I am a bear. As a bear, our concept is we do what we want. We follow the rules of the jungle. We follow the rules of the forest, and we forage. We survive. We fish. We live off of the land and take care of ourselves. There are also the eagles of the forest. The eagles are the lead of the board, the lead of the bird. And to me, they represent more of the orderly and lawful side of the internet vigilante, the type of person who may have ties to a big spending gang of federal friends and may have internet connections with them, giving them the opportunity to have money and intel from taxpayers to use on bad people, or at least who they perceive bad people. Then there are the mountain lions. Those are mainly loners, like the bears, out there living their own law, but hunting a different type of animal, very specific type. And then there are the wolves, gangs of losers from the south and other places that invade other territories and use their family and gang to attack and hurt people in groups, because not a single one of them would dare take on a bear, and none of them are ever capable of catching an eagle. The wolves fear the bears and the eagles because of reasons. Anyways, the whole idea of When Debts Collect was to show the inside of the debt collection world. I like the idea of starting off early on, say circa, we'll just hypothetically say 2016. I love the idea where I first felt it was when I was working at a random gig and I thought, they have more money than anyone I've ever met, and they're celebrating themselves with this unknown company. And they're specifically treating me like shit, as if they wanted me to pass out and die on site. Because you're easier to take care of you. It's easier to take care of you once you're dead. And I guess you could say I've got a lot of people pressuring me right now that I can't tell the difference anymore. My mental state is already broken down to the point where I can't tell reality from the reality I've created. And honestly, I feel on Monday there was an assassination attempt made for my life while driving in to a. We'll bleep that part out. We all know what I mean. My GPS told me to get off the road for some reason. They said there was a car accident ahead. And never before has a GPS been so advanced. Usually it's reactive, like there's a car ahead and then it'll work out a thing. But this one was like, look, we've made a path for you. And I thought, well, I could take the path or I could just keep on. I'm not going to be late. And I looked at the cars around me and I felt very eerie, as if every single car on that road was escorting me towards a path. Then I started to have the back of my feeling, which is all I can describe as if any of you have seen the movie Sicario, at the shootout scene when there's a bridge full of people and they're all doing their own little thing. In that shootout scene, that was all that was playing through my head the whole ride during that section. And then if you listen to my channel, you listen to the Broken Cowboy song, you'll realize that that was my most popular song last year. And for some reason, someone or somewhere has been listening to that nonstop, thinking about what it meant to me in that time, what it meant to me when I wrote that. There's all kinds of stuff that I've been working on over the years, but mainly finding a lot of failure and success. So I love the concept of showing what it's like for someone trying to create with these angels looking over their shoulders. At the end of the story, I do want to kind of put out there that there are good angels that exist. I do love the idea that there is an American dream and there can be one amazing time where everyone is happy. But in reality, I think we're more on a setup where the powers that be don't want everyone happy. They want most of us quietly shutting up and working and either making and or paying our debts. What personally happened for me, though, was when I started to question who owns my debt, who is the money benefiting, Who is gaining off of what I do? And where did this debt come from in the first place? And the interesting thing is any debt that I accrued personally happened within 2 to 3 years of massive head trauma. And all of it happened before my brain was fully developed. So to me, a predatory financial institution took advantage of a young, stupid, and mentally injured young adult. And now, for the past 10 years, have terrorized that young adult as he became a man, trying to make a way in the industry, labeling him with various labels while all the time secretly being in the background, monitoring, watching, doing whatever they want. And then everyone's sort of looking away or pretending they don't exist. The script I wrote was essentially my concept of writing all of my paranoid ideas into a short story, of taking every bit of paranoia I have and writing them down into short stories. On the internet video orientation, essentially, I create an imaginary company where that company describes exactly what I said. We work for the internet, we work for above the law, like presidents who are able to basically just not accept whatever thing they did. We work above the law on this internet company that we're part of. We're allowed to hurt, kill, and do anything we want to anybody we want, as long as we deem they're either a threat or something else. And then I wanted to show a few different things. The Debt Collector's short story is to show the behind the scenes of what it's like in one of these phone centers, especially when you're dealing with a lot of people who are stressed. I remember when working with debt collectors in the past, as I was trying to understand the concepts, that I would finally understood the idea of predatory lending, the idea of the fact that my life, my work, my everything is being manipulated by this dark magic, these numbers, these things that are made up, that we all just sort of go along and agree and sort of play this game. For some of us, it works out great. For some of y'all, I'm sure you're doing really good. You're probably jerking yourself off at how happy it made you to hurt me so deeply. So I just hope I don't have to shake your hand, because if I do, I'll probably chop it off. And that's just the dark side of the internet thoughts on this script. The lotto code was this idea that I wanted to take a short story and see how far I could push it. What would it be like for the family of a school shooter? Nobody wants to look into that and wonder why in this country, why in our society, do we have a regular flow of bad news on the internet, on the news? Why do we have a regular flow of bad? Is no sense. It makes no sense to me why anyone would want to continue in the society. And I always say, if we had a society worth living in, we wouldn't have a lot of the issues we do. But we don't, do we? We have a society where some people are happy, a lot of people are oppressed, and most of us are afraid to say or do anything because you don't want to end up like me. You don't want to end up completely encircled where you don't even trust the people closest to you. Which is sad, because I love these people closest to me, but I can't shake this dark feeling that every single person around me who I might have considered a friend could be a foe now. Which is why I have sections called Going Off the Grid. Which is why I have sections called The 10 Cars, because I wanted to tell stories of what it's like trying to go off grid, trying to get away from all of these things, and only to have someone waiting for you at every step. Only for you to try to get on a train out of town, but every time you try to get on a train, some random person from some race or part of the world stops you and strikes up some random conversation to try to understand what you're going through at that moment. And then the 10 Cars in a Van short was the concept that I essentially had confirmed years ago when I went to visit and pick up my current wife. She was out in a place. I drove through the horrible state of Ohio. By the way, go ahead, find me in the comments, Ohio. I know the assassins you've sent after me. I know the type of people that you have out there. You're part of the reason why we have this problem in this country, that we don't have enough people that are willing to stand up for their rights, that are willing to fight against oppression and fight against evil. We all just roll over and show our belly. Ohio, you're part of that problem. Because when I was driving through Ohio, when I was on my way to pick up a family member, to pick up friends, to pick up loved ones, I was surrounded by the 10 cars in my script. The 10 cars is what the script builds up to. The concept of I wanted to get 10 of the best manufacturers, and essentially, like my son and I used to when we would play when we were younger, we'll just take these cars and line them up and just have them crash into each other in a fun, exciting car action sequence. So I wanted to create a reason why I could have the great car action sequence as a director. So as a writer, I wrote out the idea of all these different cars being coded for different roles in assassinations. The cars are supposed to encircle around you. After they encircle around you, they verify you are you. And then, depending on the situation and their orders, the 10 cars are there to box you in. And then, after they've boxed you in, their goal is to cause an accident. Because it doesn't matter whether or not you live or survive from the accident, depending on what they want to do with you. If you're an organ donor and they have a rich person that needs organs, they're going to make sure that they crash you, approach you, and do whatever they have to make sure that you stop breathing, but become an organ donor. Or if they just want you dead, they just want you dead. You can actually pull this off with like 4 cars. I wouldn't be survive if some of this can be done now with either 1 or 2 cars. Hell, you do this with 1 car if you know someone's coming and 1 car's behind it. You just have the first car drive in front of them as you're going opposite ways. Oh no, my road slipped. You could, after your mark has spent the entire day being out caring for each other and others as they're on their way to their kids, you could hypothetically, allegedly, send a drunk Polish woman that is under your slavery to crash into my rear and destroy my car, destroy my neck, destroy a lot of things, and then just quietly sit on the sideline waiting to see what happens next, wondering why I survived so long, wondering why you guys have such trouble taking me out. When I realized how dark this writing had become, I was happy with the concept of coming up with an assassination squad that would circle a car and euthanize a human so that they could get organs for rich people. I felt that my writing was dark, but interesting in a way that people would actually go to theaters and buy it. But when I realized it was too dark, I put the story on the side. And I allowed these people in my life to essentially dictate what it is I do. I stopped fighting them. I stopped trying to be there as much as I needed to be and just accepted that bad guys win too. And the problem with our stories is most of our stories don't show that bad guys win. They don't show what it's like for the average person who is literally just trying to make it by day, week by week, hour by hour sometimes. And how much stress we hold over, wondering that when the debts come to collect, is their black magic money going to be good enough, and are they going to understand why you have a nonviolent protest against them of withholding your money from them? Because why would you give a government any more money so they can use to make and buy more bombs to bomb more people across the world? People lose family members and children every day. It's not often that it's close to home. And I think it is that combined effort of all of us passively sitting down and watching our screens instead of putting our foot down and say, I dare you to kill me today. I dare you to give it a try. Because I'm prepared for that. I'm prepared for myself. And all I've ever wanted to do was good things for the people in my life and around me. And hypothetically, when someone very close to you is taken away in a tragic way, I'm sure everyone will say, oh, I don't know what to say or I don't know what to do, but I'll do anything. I'll do whatever it takes. You always have that version of Let me know what I can do to help. As if there was anything you can do to help. As I mentioned in the title, this is day 6 bad day in a row compared to a few others. And I just spent the last 20 minutes going over one of my movie script concepts because it's one of a few that I have that I've been trying to sell over the years. And I found it hard to sell because over the years, I, who I am, has been blended with I, who I perform as, internet guy, Mr. BPG. And also being the private family person that I was for years. And the funny thing is my career was always a struggle and started off slow because I often made choices that were more how do I be around the family as often as I can? How do I take care of my kids? How do I take care of everything that I need to take care of? And when I failed at that and they took control, there were times I was working 80, 90 hours a week. And literally, no matter how much money I made, and I would hide at different places, I'd give it places, this country is expensive and it costs a lot to survive. And while I've been asking for years for some form of management that can help me manage my talents and keep my shit together, I've never received it. I've always just been expected to figure it out on my own. So, hey, y'all, this is me figuring it out on my own. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. If you're interested in a piece like this, well, then obviously check out Manny at Funky Rooster. This one is going for auction for starting at 20,000, so that I can, raise that money from one of you cocksuckers who watches me, stalks me, has the money, and then let the trickle down economy let it get back to you. But right now, it needs to go to more important people. 20K on sale today. Everything must go. I'm a good capitalist. I'm not going to let a single loss of family and friend break me from being a good capitalist. Fuck, we all need to make that money. Bling, bling, bling. Check, check, check. Check, check, 1, 2. And for any of you who are watching, which apparently is no one according to my analytics, but I'm okay with that. This is kind of that last message in a bottle that I don't know if anyone will ever see. Anyone who supported me over the years on this channel, thank you. This is where my son, my daughter, my family, my everyone was allowed to view the work that I was doing and gave me the freedom to just be creative, to make, to try stuff. And when I felt that my art was getting too dark, I'd put it away and I'd try to work on something else. And I'm at 72 lyric music videos that I made, just putting together words on screen. Some of it to deal with my own demons, some of it because I have music that I share with other people that they loved, and some just because it seemed like the fun thing to do. So for the rest of today, I'm just going to be quietly working on one of those projects. My next project, which is a tribute. I'm just going to see how far I can get into it today, just using some of the editing techniques. I'll show you guys a little bit behind the scenes, but in the meantime, I got to bring some light to this room. Because, whenever I do my conspiracy theory vlog, I got to do it in the dark. Them's the rules. So, thanks for watching. Share this video. It's about to take a hard right turn into productivity because, honestly, I spent the last hour just sitting here in the dark staring at the screen, not knowing what to do. I thought the only way I'm ever going to move forward is if I start to take advantage of what's available to me as far as therapy and care, and it's all of you. Because as dark as I have ranted on the internet right now, and as hard as I've been on people close to me who also work on the internet, while we're all in this together, we all are purposely kept separate in the dark from each other. We're all purposely kept apart from each other and meant to be separate. And it's honestly just my goal to unite more people under the banner of love and care going forward. So that's When Debts Collect. It is a movie script available for $200,000. Anyone interested, you know how to reach me. I know you do. Anyone interested in Manny's art, you can find him at Funky Rooster Tattoo, or purchase this one for $20K, which is available in the comments. We'll connect there and we'll work it out. And in the meantime, continue to like and subscribe, and hopefully enjoy the editing I do as I get through the first part of today, while I wait for the sun to come up and the the heat to return so that I can take my doggos here on their morning walks without freezing off digits. What's up, Boga? I'm returning to a 3-point lighting system. So my backlight now. Backlight is also acting as a edge or rim light. What I need is a little bit more front fill because my current front fill is actually on my. There we go. My current front fill was set to tungsten, which was my candlelight conspiracy theory vlog setting. My new studio lighting is going to be a three-way, basic three-way, 1, 2, 3 lights, key fill, and backlight. So I got to work on my key. Maybe in the meantime, I'll cue up the song, play that in the background while I'm working, so you guys can get a hint at what my next project is going to be.
Black holes and revelations, and our hopes and expectations. Black holes and revelations. to hold you in my arms. Far away, the ship is taking me far away from the memories of the people who care if I live or die. I'll never let you go if you promise not to fade away, never fade away. Hopes and expectations, black holes and revelations, hopes and expectations, black holes and revelations. I just wanted to hold you in my arms. I just wanted to hold.
So that's Muse, and the song is called Starlight. For anyone close to my life, you kind of know why that means what it means. And honestly, I sit here today wondering, with all I know, and with all I've said, and how dangerous what I've said is, if this is my last day on this earth, I'd be okay with that. As I'd live with a clear conscience of knowing that I would always speak truth to power. And I would never, ever, ever, ever give up. No master will ever master these bones. And yeah, still being a good capitalist, though, yo. Still being a good capitalist. Art on sale. Yeah. So, random Saturday, before everyone's awake. I got my light in the way I want it. I got my computer, got everything laid out. And all I want to do now is quietly work from home on making these movies. So if you're watching, you know how to get in touch with me. Let's do it. Been working on 3 movies, and one of them just got an ending. I think I'm out of words. Forget how long ago it was, but I told myself, you know, you're done talking, right? Like, you have nothing else to say to anyone. But I still had people that I loved and cared about, and thought, no, I still have people I love and care about. I got people to talk to. And I know everyone says this too shall pass. This too shall pass. You'll find peace. You'll find something to move forward on. Boy, I'm trying hard to believe that, but I guess until I get my questions answered, until people start treating me like a real fucking human being, and not just some monkey you put in a cage and watch from a distance. When the trickle down economy actually works for me, everything up until then is just further insults to my intelligence. I really don't want to talk to you if you don't want to actually listen to me and hear what I have to say. Because it's only going to get darker from here. We are now currently living in the darkest timeline. And even though I might have provided a lot of light to the scene, because that's what I do for my production, I have different lighting settings for different people. I may not be voice activated. That's because I don't trust to let those voice activated machines in my house. I'm Mr. BPG, aka Brian G. I'm here for you on the internet to continue to make content, both the crazy content I made in my past and as I've adulted and grown up, the more complicated content that I've written in movie scripts that are for sale. And I'm going to continue to do what I do as a photographer to take pictures and continue to find beauty in this world and capture it. In the meantime, I have no beauty left, which is a lie. I've had loved ones all the time checking in. I'm just trying to help them understand that my mind is officially broken. And that going forward, I don't know if it'll ever be the same. I sure hope I do find a manager out of this. I sure hope I do find people that know how to utilize my skills to continue to maximize the capitalist economy and, allow me to be the creative type that helps them find the money and let it trickle down as it goes. Because I never wanted a lot of it. Hell, I only got in the media was because I used to watch them stack stacks of cash in the back from all the people buying popcorn. And they went and ruined their whole business model, and here we are, 20 plus years later. Me having to fight against automation, AI, and other things for the past decade to maintain my art and my career. Going up against AI actually coming into the art force now? Oh, no. But then again, who wants to listen to wild ass BPG ramble at however early in the morning? Hopefully you got to this later in the day. I know that my live streams are occasionally viewed by people who care. But then again, why would anyone want to watch poor old broken BPG rambling on the internet? Anyways, I'll have to wrap the stream up. I'm not going to do the editing I said I was going to do in front of you because I'd probably just break down and cry the whole time. So at least I got myself started. And remember, don't just spend time, invest time. Because time is a currency that you only get to spend once. But if you invest time, it's possible that time might come back to you.